Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila, chapter 7. We are on text 115. Prakrita Kariyamane Vishnu Kalevara Vishnu Ninda Nahi Ihar Upara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, S.Bhagavatam Shilpa Prabhupada. One who considers the transcendental body of Lord Vishnu to be made of material nature is the greatest offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. There is no greater blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if we think that God, when He comes to the material world, His body is material like ours. You know, we are in the material world right now, although we are spirit souls, but we are inside this material body. And if we think that God is also like the same way, that Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna's body is also material, then we are being offensive to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are being offensive. We are not understanding the position of God. Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami explains that the variegated personal feature of the Absolute Truth is the Vishnu Tattva, and that the material energy which creates this cosmic manifestation is the energy of Lord Vishnu. So how does this material world come about? Who has created the material world? That we need to inquire, because we just look and say, oh, wow, material world is so beautiful. Mother Nature, she's so beautiful. Mother Nature is so powerful. But who has created? That's a question we need to ask. And if we ask this question, we will understand that is God has created this world. It's God, Lord Vishnu. He has created this material world. This material energy is one of His energies. The creative force is merely the energy of the Lord. But the foolish conclude that because the Lord has distributed Himself in an impersonal form, He has no separate existence. So now if I think that God, because He has created this material world, now God does not exist anymore, then I am foolish. Then if I think, oh, now God has become this material world, God has become this material energy, then I'm being foolish. It's like thinking, oh, the mother is giving birth to a child, so now the mother does not exist anymore. She's finished. Well, because the child is coming from her, so now no more mother. So I'm being foolish then. The impersonal Brahman, however, cannot possess energies, nor do the Vedic literatures state that Maya, the illusory energy, is covered by another Maya. So Brahman is the light, the Brahmajyoti, is the light which is coming from the body of God, from the body of Krishna. Yeah, that's what is the origin of the light. For example, we see a light and we want to see what's the source of the light. We see it's a light bulb or it's a tube light, it's a LED, whatever. There's a source of the light. In the material world, the source of all light is the sun. It's because of the sun planet. The light is there. Now, why is the sun planet so bright? Because there is a sun god, Surya Dev is there. And from his body, all this light is coming. And so similarly, the source of the sunlight is the Brahman, the Brahmajyoti. But where is this Brahmajyoti coming from? It's coming from the form of Krishna. So Krishna is the source of all light. He's the source of Brahman. There are hundreds and thousands of references, however, to Vishnu Maya Parasya Shakti, or the energy of Lord Vishnu. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 14, Krishna refers to Mama Maya, my energy. Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratyaya, that this divine energy, she's mine. The material energy, Krishna is saying, she's my energy. Maya is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not that he's covered by Maya. So Krishna controls Maya. She does not control him. It's like, in the country, a certain part of the country is the prison house. If the president enters the prison by his own goodwill, he's just entering to speak to the prisoners to see if there's some prisoner who can be let out into normal society. And instead of taking advantage that the president is here, let me talk to him, let me tell him to help me get out of here. If the prisoner starts saying, look, there's no difference between the president and me. Even the president is a prisoner. Look, even he's become a prisoner now. Then it is the foolishness of the prisoner. Instead of recognizing the position of the president and using it to his advantage to get out of the material world, he is in fact blaspheming the president. Without understanding, the president just came there out of his own free will. The police didn't catch him. He's not pushed or forced to stay in the prison. And he can leave the prison whenever he wants. He can stay for 1 hour or 2 hours or 15 minutes, depending on him. So instead of understanding the position of the president, the prisoner keeps thinking and keeps saying, look, the president is also a prisoner. That's what we do when we say that, God is saying like me, God has a material body when he's coming to the material world. We are behaving like this, like the foolish prisoner, thinking, because God has come to the material world, so now God also has a material body, saying like me, because I'm in the material world, I have a material body, so God is also saying like me. That we are being foolish. We are being offensive. Krishna says, fools deride me when I come in this human form. He calls us, if we think that, then we are foolish. Krishna is openly saying that in the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, Lord Vishnu cannot be a product of the material energy. In the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, it is said, Janmadi asya yataha, indicating that the material energy is also an emanation of the Supreme Brahman. So this material energy, where is she coming from? All the Vedas say that the material energy, she belongs to Krishna. She belongs to Lord Vishnu. The Supreme Lord is also called the Supreme Brahman. Why? Because the Supreme, the light which is coming from his form, from his body. So how then could he be covered by the material energy? If that were possible, material energy would be greater than the Supreme Brahman. So if we say that God, now when he comes in the material world, God has taken a material form, that means we are trying to say that material energy is greater than God. We are trying to say that Maya is greater than God. That means we are trying to say that Maya is God. So it's completely illogical. It's illogical. If we think that when God comes to this material world and his body is made of Maya, that means Maya is able to cover God. So we are trying to say that Maya is more powerful than God. So we are trying to say that Maya is God. But that's completely illogical. So even these simple arguments, however, cannot be understood by the Mayavadi philosophers. And therefore the term Maya Parata Gyan, which is applied to them in the Bhagavad Gita, is extremely appropriate. So when we think like this, then Krishna says that your Maya Prarata Gyan means your knowledge has been taken away by Maya. If we think that God is covered by Maya, that means our knowledge is actually that is being covered by Maya. And then Krishna calls us Maya Parata Jnana. In Bhagavad Gita, he says that, very good, you think that I am a product of Maya, means your knowledge is stolen by Maya. So anyone who thinks that Lord Vishnu is a product of the material energy, as explained by Sadanand Yogendra, should immediately be understood to be insane, for his knowledge has been stolen by the illusory energy. So if we think that God has a material body, when he comes to the material world, God also has a material body, means we are mad with illusion. Our knowledge is stolen by Maya. Lord Vishnu cannot be placed within the category of the demigods. Those who are actually bewildered by the Mayavad philosophy and are still in the darkness of ignorance consider Lord Vishnu to be a demigod in defiance of the Rig Vedic mantra Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Vishnu is always in a superior position. So one type of a blasphemy is thinking that God has taken a material body. That's a wrong thinking, and we should give up that thinking. We should understand that God, his form is always spiritual. Even if he comes to this material world, his form is still spiritual. Now, another thing, if we think God is equal to the demigods, or the demigods are equal to God, we say, oh, it doesn't matter. You worship Lord Shiva, you worship Lord Ganesh, or you worship Surya or Chandra. Everything is one. Everyone is one. This is also wrong. This is not correct knowledge. The demigods are not God. God is only one. God is only one. There is no one who is equal to or greater than God. So there is no one equal to or greater than Krishna or Lord Vishnu. All others are his subordinates. So the Rig Veda also confirms this, that Vishnu is always in a superior position. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. This is in Rig Veda. This mantra is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Mata Parataram Nanyat. There is no truth superior to Lord Krishna or Vishnu. So Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. Mata Parataram Nanyat Kaschid Adi Mata Parataram Nanyat. That there is no truth superior to me, he says. O Arjuna, O Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. There is no truth superior to me. So Krishna is giving this knowledge. He's speaking the Bhagavad Gita. And he's saying, hey, Arjuna, listen, there is no truth superior to me. I'm God. So Krishna is speaking very simple, very plain. Now, if we try to put some meaning behind these things, then we are being foolish. We just have to accept Krishna's words as he speaks them. No one else calls themselves God. Even Lord Shiva never says he's God, or Lord Brahma never says he's God. What they say always, we are servants of God and worship Krishna. That's what they say. All the demigods, Lord Ganesh never says, I'm God. He's a pure devotee of Krishna. He's always worshipping Lord Nishingadev. So because Lord Ganesh, he's Vigna Vinash, right? Vigna Vinash, taking away all the obstacles. So who's giving him this power? He's getting it from Lord Nishingadev. Lord Nishingadev is called Vigna Vinash, removing all obstacles. So thus, only those whose knowledge has been bewildered consider Lord Vishnu to be a demigod, and therefore suggest that one may worship either Lord Vishnu, the goddess Kali, Durga, or whomever one likes, and achieve the same result. This is an ignorant conclusion that is not accepted in the Bhagavad Gita 9.25, which distinctly says, so if we think that Lord Vishnu is also a demigod, Lord Vishnu is equal to Lord Ganesh or to Durga Devi or to Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma or Lord Surya or Chandra, then our knowledge is stolen by Maya. That is not correct knowledge, because Lord Vishnu is God and the others are all demigods. They are servants of Lord Vishnu. So Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Krishna says, Yanti Deva Vrata Deva Yanti Madhyajino Bhimam. What does Krishna says? He says the worshippers of the demigods will be promoted to the respective planets of the demigods. But the devotees of the Supreme Lord will go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada would explain this point saying, because everyone says, it doesn't matter, whoever you worship, it's the same, everything is the same. If you buy a train ticket to Calcutta, you're going to reach Calcutta, you're not going to reach to Kanyakumari, right? Depends what ticket we are purchasing. We are going to sit in that train. That train is going to take us to the particular place. Not that I buy a ticket to America and I think that I'm going to reach China. How's that possible? And then I say, it's okay, doesn't matter. You buy any ticket, it's okay, you'll reach the same destination. The airline people will think you're crazy, man. What are you doing? They'll say, get out of here. So this is how we are when we talk. Oh, doesn't matter. You worship anyone, you'll go to the same place. Then everyone looks at the higher authorities, looks at us and say, oh my God, what are you saying, So Lord Krishna explains very clearly in Bhagavad Gita 7.14 that this material energy is very difficult to overcome. Devi hi isha gunamai mama maya duratyaya. Krishna says that this material energy is very, very difficult to overcome. He says, then what is the easiest way to overcome it? To surrender to Krishna. Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam taranti te. That's the easiest way to get out of this material world. Maya's influence is so strong that even learned scholars and spiritualists are also covered by Maya and think themselves to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya covers our knowledge and we think we are God. We start thinking we are God. So we may think, okay, right now I'm not God, but after I get liberated, I will become God. This is the illusion that Maya gives us. Okay, right now you're not God, but don't worry, after you get liberated, you'll become God. This is Maya itself. Actually, however, to free oneself from the influence of Maya, one must surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita. It is to be concluded, therefore, that Lord Vishnu does not belong to this material creation, but to the spiritual world. So Lord Vishnu, he is the Supreme Lord. He's an expansion of the Supreme Lord himself. His form is not material, he is spiritual. To misconceive Lord Vishnu to have a material body or to equate him with the demigods is the most offensive blasphemy against Lord Vishnu, and offenders against the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu cannot advance in spiritual life. They are called Maya Prahrata Gyan, or those whose knowledge has been stolen by the influence of illusion. So if we think that God has a material body, or if we think it's okay, all the demigods are also God, you are God, I'm God, one day we are going to realize we are God, means our knowledge has been stolen by Maya. It's the grossest type of ignorance, and this is blasphemy. It's blaspheming the Lord. completely disregarding his position and trying to take his position, saying that God does not exist, but I am God. So one who thinks that there is a difference between Lord Vishnu's body and his soul dwells in the darkest region of ignorance. So anyone who thinks that Lord Vishnu, his body and his soul is different, this is ignorance. We are being ignorant if we think that Lord Vishnu has a soul and a different body. We are thinking Lord Vishnu is same like me. I am the soul and right now I am inside the material body. So God and me, same to same. This is ignorance. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu's body and Vishnu's soul, for they are Advaya Gyan, one knowledge. So Lord Vishnu's body and soul, there is no difference. Similarly, when we go back to the spiritual world, there is no difference between our soul and our body. In the spiritual world, we have no that, oh, I am inside some body. No, we have a spiritual body. There is no difference between soul and body. Then we'll say, aha, see, that means once I go to the spiritual world, I will become God. No, we can never become God. We are spirit souls, part and parcel of God. Only God is God. So we are same in quality. Quality, we are same. God is spiritual, we are spiritual. But the size is completely different. The size is that we are very tiny, infinitesimal, 1/10,000 of the tip of the hair. That is the size of the soul. Whereas what is the size of God? Unlimited. He's unlimited. So in this world, there is a difference between the material body and the spiritual soul. But in the spiritual world, everything is spiritual and there are no such differences. The greatest offense of the Mayavadi philosophers is to consider Lord Vishnu and the living entities to be one and the same. So if I say that God and me are the same, then I am a great offender. In this connection, the Padma Puran states, Arche Vishnu Shiladir Guru Shu Nara Matir Vaishnave Chati Buddhihi Yasya Vanaraki Saha. One who considers the Archa Murti, the worshipable deity of Lord Vishnu, to be stone, the spiritual master to be an ordinary human being, and a Vaishnava to belong to a particular caste or creed, is possessed of hellish intelligence. One who follows such conclusions is doomed. So Padma Puran is saying that if we are thinking that the deity of the Lord in the temple is just of some material element, is just stone, then our intelligence is hellish. Or if we are thinking the spiritual master is just an ordinary man, then but this is a bona fide spiritual master. Spiritual master means one who is authorized by Krishna. He's been given a certificate by Krishna, certificate of authority. That kind of spiritual master, if we think he's ordinary man, then our intelligence is hellish. And if we think of Vaishnava is a pure devotee. If we think of Vaishnava is as he's belonging to this body, this society, this nationality, then our intelligence is considered to be hellish. So we should rise above these things and try to understand them through the eyes of the scriptures. So we need to learn to see through the eyes of the scriptures, become see through the eyes. See, how do we see with knowledge? Is by seeing through the eyes of scripture. So is that okay? Yes, so then we'll stop here for today. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying.